All right, so we're going to continue on with our product. We started with the new product. And this is the code that we started to create a form, and we posted that data, and we were starting to figure out what to do with that data, right? So let's finish creating our form so that we have all the right data collected so I can create a new record. And I was going to do this offline, and I didn't get a chance. So let's look at our products. I have a name, description, price. I also need to have cost, image, and these will be the created at and modified date at will be done programmatically. I won't ask the user for that. So I need to have a cost and an image. So let's add some more fields here. Am I recording? Yes. I need a cost, and we'll call it cost. And the name, this is part of the key value pair, we'll call it cost. And the image, we're going to store the image as a URL. So we just want it as a text box for now. Now later on we might get to the point where we'll upload our own images, but for now it's we're going to store it as a path name, and we won't store the image, the actual data for the image, in the database. I think that's the wrong way to go, although lately a lot of people are doing that. They're putting the images because the databases have gotten better at managing data. I still like to have the image itself outside the database so I can just change path names. I can change it easy. It's real simple. The type? Yes, I was in the, yes. I was thinking image and typing input. So let's log in. And now I need to do the same thing. If they submit it, I want to get this data. So we're going to get the data out of the database. Let's just make sure that everything is sticky and happy. So we have a cost. We're going to get from the name value pair that's in the input line here, which is called cost. So we're going to change that to cost. This is going to be image. This is going to be image. All right, so now I've got all of the fields. The other fields are going to be created by the PHP code before I post it to the database. All right, so let's just run that, see what we got. And I have my new form over here, so I'll click New. Now I've got all my name is boots, description, Snuggly, price, they cost $19.95, and the image might be something like this, boots.jpg. All right, a path name on my root of my server to some subdirectories where I'm going to store all my products, images. Okay, say new product, and everything is sticky. I posted it. Everything is sticky and happy. And remember that we had talked about this, how we had a problem because I used get instead on purpose. Remember that? Yeah. All right, so I'm going to take my echo inside my if. That's just a debugging thing. All right, so now we have our form. It's posting back to the same page, and everything is great. Now I want to, if they've done a submission, I also need to then add that data to the database. So I need to do a connection. So let's go copy the code that I had from my MySQL code. Where is it? Seriously, I can't find it. Did I lose it? No. Well, that's the connect. But I had a testing that I was playing with. Maybe it's just my products. So here's my products. I need this same code to do the connection to the database, to create a new connection, check an error, and create a SQL statement. So a lot of this is the same. I'm going to come all the way down to this and get that data, and I'm going to copy that and put it into my new file over here. Yes. Now, you see that I'm starting to copy that a lot. It would make sense to probably put a lot of this code inside of my dbconnect.php. Right? That just kind of makes sense. So I'll do that. I'll do that later. All right. So we have our require statements. Since this one is going to actually require the connection, I'm requiring that one separately. I make a connection to my database, get this connection object that I can play with, test for any errors. If there's an error, I just want to burp all over the page and throw up and quit. I don't want to do anything, right? That's the die. There's a real problem. I don't want to go any farther. And then we need to create our SQL command. So how do we do that? How do we create a new product in our product table? There you go. So let's go to phpMyAdmin and see. That's one way to do it. So we go to CIS 230. I can't remember my name. It is CIS 230 lecture. This is my guy here. And we're going to go, let's see, it was log in, just like your MySQL credentials that you have in your PHP. And this is the easiest way to figure out what the select statement is. So if we do a new one and we, let's select my database, which is the lecture database, and my articles table. Products table, that's what I said. Products table. I can, what? Yeah, I'm creating products. I'm not doing articles. I'm not going to do articles. I don't want to do your assignment. This is actually, yeah, that's right. Yes.
I wouldn't be surprised because.
Yeah. I'm missing something. Left. Jeez. All right, there we go. See, I'm still distracted. All right, there we go. So we're in our table. This is our table. I can do an insert command, and this will create the fields and everything. And we'll just do one to start with. I'll do skis, boards, $200. They cost $20. Image is going to be that, and the created at is going to be today, and the modified is an automatic date that's going to be created for me. So I say go, and it will actually do the insertion. It actually worked. And this is the SQL command of what it took to do that. Insert into my database all of these values. These are the column names, and then the values are here. So that should look exactly like the SQL that you did for SQL Server, right? Yeah. It's very similar in structure. All right, so I can say create PHP code, and it will show me exactly what this looks like. Okay, so let's take this and play with it, although it needs a lot of work. So there's my string. Insert into, I'm only using one database, so I'm going to take this out. The products This is a product ID, name, description. Those are all the column names, so those are okay. And then the values are going to be something over here. Null is what gets passed in, and then the database will give me a new ID for that. It creates the next auto-incremented ID that's not used. Then instead of skis, I have to pass in the value here that is my variable for the name. All right, so I created a name variable down here. See, I've got to move this all down here.
Does that also be on one line of code for the SQL we just copied over? Can you separate like they had it for values?
Yeah, you could create two strings if you wanted and concatenate them together. It's just a string.
Yeah, all right.
So null, this is going to be name, $sign name. Boards is going to be my description, which was description, price, cost, image, okay? So description, price is going to be price, cost is going to be $sign cost, and my image path is going to be $sign image. And then the created at date, we will leave this one like it is. That will get modified to the current date and timestamp. And this we can create a timestamp that fits in here. So how do we create a timestamp? Date function, right? So the date function. And anybody know the string that I use for that? To get this format? That's why there's PHP.NET, right? I think there's one that does.
Full string format.
Yeah. So let's go look for it. Search. Hello. Search. Date. So we can go down to one of these longer ones like this. I don't think they have one exactly like that, do they? Yeah. They don't. Here's some predefined ones here. All right, so let's just create it. So it's going to be capital Y dash little m little d All right, so that's year, month, date, hours, minutes, seconds, and that should create a nice date string for me. So I need to save that in a variable. I'll call it now. And then we can use that variable in my string here. Now. All right, so that should be my string. I'm going to replace that up here. And let's print it out. And we won't actually do the insertion yet. Let's just make sure our string looks right. Okay, make sure everything looks correctly there. And you'll find this printing this out is really useful debugging technique. Yeah, echo everything out. So here we go. Undefined variable SQL. That's good. So we have a problem. Line 20. Because this is done before I've defined it. So that's what you get when you copy and paste stuff. I'm not going to call it yet, though. All right, there we go. So here's the statement. insert into products, and this is all the names of the columns, and the values, null, boots, etc., all the way through, and that should work. So let's see if that actually works, okay? So now I have the SQL string created. I need to actually execute that value on my connection. I need to send that query string to the database and let it do something. All right? So let's just echo out my result, see what happens for now. And this should actually be injected right into the database now. All right, so it went into the database. Doesn't look like I have any errors, and so let's go look at the actual products.php file, and I should have, once I reload the page, I've got my skis spelled wrong here with my 220. Everything is happy, right? It all added a new data row to my database. So once I'm done with this, I only do this part inside of this if statement if they posted the submit button, right? Then I'm going to insert it and actually post the data to the database. Otherwise, we're going to have this display the form and let them do that. If everything is happy, I want to do what? I would close the connection, right? So we did that yesterday. We did this MySQL close, or we could use this connection points to close as a more of an object-oriented way. So we need to close our connection. And then we need to do the redirect back to some other page. We want to go, once it's inserted correctly, where would be the next place to go to? All right, for now, let's go to the products page because that's all we have. So we did that. We did a redirect in our delete function. Remember, we did this header, location, and we're going to go to that same line of code. And the problem is that will not work if I've already echoed something out to the screen. So I need to comment out my echo command here. All right, so if everything worked and they hit submit, it's going to go to the products page. All right, so let's hit a new product. We'll call it Dave. You can buy it, Dave. Very cool. He's $1 million. It only costs $42. That's right. And /Dave.jpg. So it redirected to my new page, and I got an error. Okay, so my headers are already set, and that's because I believe I didn't refresh my page. Let's see if that's right. Nope, some other problem. All right, header's already sent on line 8. So this is good debugging for you. Line 8. There's nothing there that's useful. That's in my header.php. Aha. I already echoed out the page title in my header. Ah, darn it. All right, so let's, in order to move on with the database stuff, I'm going to disable my header just so we can move on, and I'll show you another way to fix that later. All right, so it came back to this page. And we also have to show you another way to refresh this page nicer. I have to reload the page to actually see the data. And it didn't do it, right? It didn't insert. Something wrong with my data. Doesn't like Dave, yeah. Huh. That's not good. It worked one time, you think it would work another, right? That's the problem with data that you get from a user. Oh yeah, it worked the first time for me. Oh yeah. Well, let's go look at the database. We can actually look at this here and refresh it, take our PHP out of it, so it's definitely not going to the database. It's not creating that, so that's good to know. That's a good debugging technique. So, where is the bug? I'm going to have to pause because I don't. All right, so we don't know what the error is. It's obviously failing here. And so I'm going to take the header relocation out and echo out the result that I got back from doing the query, and also echo out any SQL connection errors that I might have, and see if there's some problem there. So let's redo this guy.
Before you do that, you need to throw some column and
Yeah, picky. All right.
So PHP is.
So let's go back to this guy. Also, why do I have these undefined variable names? Right. I only use them if they hit submit, but if I come to this page the first time, all of these variables that I'm using in this block have not been declared yet. So ideally, what I do is, the easiest way is just to set these all to a blank string. That will get rid of those issues. That should not affect. It should not affect the rest of my code. They're just notices. Oops. All right. So let's do my Dave. Very cool. It's something with my data. Maybe it's the numbers too big. Connect error 0, so that means there was no error.
Commenting out that close connection.
Can't imagine that being the problem, but let's see if it went into the database. Yeah. So it's still not going in the database. Isn't this great? These are some of the problems you guys are going to have, so. Yeah, that shouldn't matter. I had that out, though, before, too. Unless my date was right. I did it right the first time, right? Then you can see it. No, and we should be able to change this with a null because we want the database to figure out when it was modified as a timestamp. So maybe let's try that. Let's see if it actually did something. Nope. I didn't print that off, so let's go print it back out. It's a good idea to do that too. Result was not the string though. That's going to be a number or something. So, all right. Still doesn't work. Pause. All right, we got it working, and unfortunately, I don't have a quick reason why, but we changed. You don't need the database in front of the products because when we make a connection, this is connecting straight to a specific database name. So it assumes that all my queries are going to that database. And then I changed the timestamp at the end to use the keyword current timestamp, which is a MySQL variable. It's a MySQL defined statement. And that just says, give me the current date and time because I'm modifying that now. And other than that, I changed the error to display. This is a MySQL error. That before I was using the connect error, and that's not useful here. So I'm not sure why it failed. So it works now, and we'll leave it like that. We can take this out, and we can close our connection again and redirect, and everything should work now.
Yeah, right.
We'll call it Dave 1 so we know we have a new guy. Well, it's just it's my header thing, but that should have created a new Dave 1. Yep. So it's still working. I have a problem with something else I'm echoing out. Right here. So we'll call it Dave 2. There we go. Now I've got all my guys. There we go. I've got a Dave 2. Wow. That was painful. All right. That's it.